Picture this, a country that builds your phone, your shoes, your laptop. That country is running out of people. Not resources, not money, not factories, people. More specifically, women. China is confronting a crisis that no infrastructure project, no stimulus package, and no Communist Party directive can solve. This is the story of China's population collapse and why India might be the one nation positioned to benefit from it. So let's ask the questions nobody is asking loudly enough. How did a country of 1.4 billion people end up here? Why is Beijing, with all its authoritarian control, all its policy muscle, all its state capacity, completely powerless to fix it? What does a shrinking China actually mean for the global economy? And sitting right next door watching all of this unfold, what does it mean for India? Those are the questions. Let's pull them apart one by one. Go back to 1980, China is poor, crowded and worried about resources. So the Communist Party makes a decision, one child per family, a hard limit enforced with fines, forced sterilizations and coercion. The logic seemed simple, fewer mouths to feed, leaner workforce, more resources per child. But Chinese families given only one chance overwhelmingly wanted sons. Daughters were aborted, abandoned, left unregistered. An entire generation of women quietly disappeared from the records. The policy ran for 36 years. By the time Beijing scrapped it in 2016, the damage was done. The generation now entering their prime childbearing years are themselves children of the one-child era. Fewer of them, gender skewed, already used to small families. And here's the brutal math. Fewer women means fewer children. Fewer children means fewer future parents. The gap does not close. It widens generation after generation. You cannot create women who were never born. China has tried everything. Scrapped birth limits, cash bonuses for second and third children, housing subsidies, extended maternity leave, tax breaks, state media running campaign glorifying marriage and motherhood. None of it has worked. Why? Housing costs nearly 30 times for people with average annual salary. The education system is brutally competitive. Children are prepared for university from primary school. Work culture is punishing. The so-called 996 schedule 9 to 9, 6 days a week. Childcare is expensive and patchy, built on an assumption that grandparents will step in. Grandparents who are themselves getting old. This is not a policy problem anymore. It's an entire way of life that makes having children feel impossible. Beijing built the Three Gorges Dam. It lifted 800 million people out of poverty. It built cities from nothing. But it cannot make its young people want babies. China's population has already peaked. Deaths now outnumber births every single year. The United Nations projects China's population could fall from 1.4 billion today to around 633 million by the year 2100. Some demographers think it could go even lower, closer to 300 million. That's a population smaller than the United States, achieved without war, without famine, just through the slow math of the birth rate that never recovered. And it's not just the numbers shrinking, it's the shape of the population. The young working age base is getting smaller. The elderly population at the top is getting bigger. Fewer workers paying taxes, more retirees drawing pensions, fewer young households buying homes, cars and goods. Japan went through something similar, but Japan was rich when it happened. It had savings and a safety net to cushion the fall. China is getting old before it gets rich. That makes this transition far harder to survive. And now the question every Indian should be asking. This is not just China's story, it's a story with a gap in it. And India is the most naturally positioned country on earth to fill that gap. India has just become the world's most populous nation. But the headline number isn't what matters. What matters is the median age. India's median age is around 28. China is past 40 and climbing. Nearly 65% of India's population is in the working age bracket, the same engine that powered China's growth for 3 decades. That engine is slowing in China. In India, it's just getting started. Global companies are already responding, not abandoning China, but building parallel supply chains in countries with younger workforces and lower cost: electronics, pharmaceuticals, textiles, auto components. Vietnam is getting some of this, Mexico is getting some, and Bangladesh too. But none of them have India's scale. None have India's market size combined with a young, English-speaking, trainable workforce. Here's the part 2 many conversations skip. A young population is not automatically an asset. It's a potential asset. The difference between a demographic dividend and a demographic disaster is whether the economy can actually employ these young people. And right now, India has real work to do on manufacturing, on skilling workers, on labor reforms, on cutting the friction that stops businesses from hiring at scale. India's fertility rate is falling too. Our population will peak just later. The window is perhaps 20 to 30 years. That sounds like a long time. It isn't. It's one policy cycle. China's tragedy wasn't just a bad policy for 36 years. It's that the warning signs were there, the data was there, and nobody acted in time. India isn't China, but the lesson applies to everyone.